to play with the Falcons, and I had to give a lot of that money back to him to become a minority owner. But when you think about it, I just manage. Yeah, I manage my money. But he asked me a key question, towards the end of my career. It's like, what are you going to do after football? Oh, he said, hey, do you want to go coach? You want to go, do this or that? I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I mean, so what you want to do? I said, I'd rather be up there with you in the box.
And welcome to another exciting edition of Up On Game presents Conversations with a Legend. And we do have another legend on board, on tap. One of my personal faves, a hero growing up. We got Mr. Warrick Dunn. Now, I got to set it off by saying this, and I know I probably told you this a few times over, but, I used to wear wristbands on my shins, right below my knee, because of Warrick Dunn. I had the strap on my shoe because of Warrick Dunn. I had the wristband on my elbows. Now, they might have thought it was just because of D. Brooks and Ray Lou, but a lot of my influence came from you. And
oh, wow.
So, and it's interesting because, I give you a backstory. Andy Urbanic, right? Y'all's assistant AD, was from Penn Hills, Pittsburgh. And when I was in high school, he did a camp of champions in Pittsburgh. So they would come to the camp, and during the mess halls, when all the teams would come together and be eating, he would show highlights of Florida State. So my two favorites easily, well, three, I got to say three, but I didn't want to be Charlie Ward. I wanted to be like Warrick Dunn and Derrick Brooks. So the coolest thing was, here's the weirdest thing. I'm taller than both of y'all, right?
Yeah.
So I was at 6'3" in high school. Like, this is like my freshman year, sophomore year. And Andy Urbanic would bring me the tapes. So indirectly, I ran like I was your size because in my mind, I wanted to run like how you ran. So
wow.
I patterned my running style after you. So I was quick and I was shifty, even though I was long. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
And I rocked the cowboy collar and all that stuff because of D. Brooks and all that. So I was a Florida Stater, and I always told Coach Bowden, God rest his soul, I always told him if they would have recruited me harder, I would have been a Knoll. You know what I mean? But
wow.
True story.
You would enjoy it. You would enjoy it, the little small town. I mean, I know, hey, you were a great player in college and so forth. You would enjoy Tallahassee. Just, all of the competition, just to compete, just to get on the field, I think would have just, been crazy. So we had a good group of linebackers then. I'm sure you'd have came and you'd have added to that mix and would have been crazy on defense.
Yeah, that was the same year David Warren came in. That would have been it would have been 97. But I mean, I grew up on them, like when they had Rubel, D. Brooks, what I mean? They had Wadsworth, they had Alexander, had Crockett, had Hamlet in the back. I'll run it off for you now. Hey, Clifton Abraham. I mean, I'll run them off. But here's the thing. So being a part of one of the most iconic eras of Florida State football and being so young and getting in the mix of it, I can recall you and Rock Preston being in the backfield. I think you were older though, right? I think he came in.
We came in. No, we were both
same
freshmen.
Year. Y'all were both freshmen. Year. Wow. Yeah. Wow. So, but you played more out the gate than Rock did.
Well, I played more out the gate because when we started camp, he wasn't there the first few days because he did the summer. He was in summer school, right? I think, you can go to school early on, and he went to school early and I didn't. So, classes didn't end early enough for him to start. So I had a couple of days on him doing that. But I mean, once he came, I was like, oh my God, I better get it together. And, we just competed. But the thing is, we made each other better. And I just happened to play my freshman year because the starter had an ankle injury during camp. And, he didn't take a lot of reps. The backup blew his knee out, first day of camp. Tiger McMillan blew his knee out. And then, the third and fourth guy, it's just, they were in the mix. So once I started getting reps against the first team defense, 60 yards, 50 yards, this or that, that was all she wrote.
All right, I got to ask you this because I got a kid right now that reminds me a lot of you. And he's 5'9", and he's not getting a lot of looks, but he is straight Gitsu knifing defenses with the way he stops and he goes and he accelerates. What was it like for you? Because you were able to become a highly touted, highly recruited running back out of Louisiana. How did that take place for you? How did you go about getting that exposure?
Well, my whole story was that when I was in high school, I was a high school option quarterback. So I didn't play running back. I played a lot of different positions, but my goal was to play running back. Every school recruited me to play defensive back. And that's not what I wanted to do. I just happened to make a deal with Coach Bowden. Hey, Coach, if I come, I want to play running back. If it doesn't work out, then I'll move to defensive back. I don't have a problem. And he made a deal with me and says, okay, we'll do it. And, I kept hearing from all the coaches, all the schools across the country, and definitely at Florida State, you could be the next Deion Sanders, Terrell Buckley. I was like, I just want to be Warrick Dunn. So, I got my opportunity. And like I said, 3-4 days in my first week, we never even talked about defensive back anymore. I was strictly on the offensive side of the ball. And that's how it went. And I grew up playing running back. I was the smallest kid, but people couldn't tackle me when I started playing when I was 7. And believe it or not, I was a starting running back when I was 10 years old, 11 years old. And my pops, he's a father figure to me. I call him my pops. He moved me to receiver, said, you're not playing running back anymore. You need to learn how to catch the ball. If you're going to score this year, you're going to catch the ball. And I learned how to catch really good when I was 12 years old. And I think overall, the skill set just all started coming together. I was reading covered defenses. We was making audibles at the line of scrimmage. My understanding of the game just grew. Then once I was in middle school and high school, started playing quarterback. And basically what they do when you were on option, usually they put the best athlete at quarterback who can this or that, right? And and I started to really learn and understand, and I was just trying to have fun. So it's for me, it's it's just about enjoying the moment, doing what you can.
So fast forward, I got to fast forward to this because you meant so much to me when we played Atlanta and I got my first chance to play against you. I was gunning for you. Like, I felt like if I could get to you, like, that's like one of those things. It's like, if I'm on the field with another linebacker, I'm going to try to outdo that linebacker. If I'm on the field and a hero is on the other side, like Jerome Bettis, I had to try my hand with Jerome Bettis, right? So it was like, there was like a couple. There was you, there was Fred Taylor, there was Jerome Bettis. Those were the three. It's like, oh, they're on the field, like, whew. So I don't know if you remember this, but you remember me. I don't even know who the fullback was, but he came to chop me. And I leapfrogged him, and I got a hold of you in Atlanta, and it was a highlight of my life to be able to get a hold of Warrick Dunn in the backfield. It was a TFL, by the way. I did get you for tackles for loss.
I mean, those things happen occasionally, but it wasn't a clean hit, right? Because I wasn't trying to give you a lot to hit, but I trust the guys in front of me, and I had Fred McQuarrie,
McQuarrie. I leapfrogged him. Yeah, I leapfrogged him.
So I figured that's who it was there, because Justin wouldn't let you do that. He was a smaller guy, so he's going to use his size to help him. But Fred was trying to always pound you.
Yeah.
So, but I can say that if you did do that, and I don't remember, right? But it wasn't a clean shot. I know you remember, but I'm gonna go back and look at the film. So
you gotta go check it out.
Yeah, if it was a clean shot, no, I wasn't gonna let that happen.
We're gonna have to do part 2. You're gonna have to tell me what you saw on part 2.
Oh, we can do that. We can do that. We can do that. It was, hey, whatever is gonna make you sleep better at night. I appreciate that.
We so old now, and so here's a transition. Everybody knows, especially in Atlanta, what Warrick Dunn is doing and what Warrick Dunn has done for his entire life. But for those who may have lived under a rock for all these years and never caught wind to all of the great things you've done, let us know what you're doing now. What does Warrick Dunn have going on now?
Well, I have a lot of jobs, right? So I would tell you that we can be here for a little bit, and I don't think we have enough time. But I think a lot of people know me as the guy who just helps families, right? I'm the guy who gives away houses. I don't give anything away, but I try to help single parent families who are becoming first-time homeowners move into their new home. And the reason I do that is because my mom and her issues were, the reason she sacrificed her life is trying to provide a stable environment for us. So for me, I wanted to live out my mom's dream through other single parents. And what we do is we assist single parent families who are becoming first-time homeowners. And that's giving them $5,000 down payment. And we're fully furnishing their homes. We put everything in their homes all the way down to the toothbrush, right? So now you just pretty much have to just bring your clothes.
Yourself, right, yeah.
That's pretty much it. So we've been doing it now, and we're about to get ready to celebrate 25 years.
Awesome.
25 years of this. And, we're up to 100, I think I'm gonna get the number, 195 single parent families we've helped to date. So we're going to continue to go and getting ready for home 200. Now, I appreciate it. But this started in 1997. I had no idea what I was doing in 1997. Just years later, and I just knew that I'm living my mom's dream. And for me, it was more like therapy. But as an organization, we've grown over the years. And like I said, we're about to celebrate 25 years of this program, but we've also expanded. Now we have a financial literacy program that's called Count on Your Future. We try to help families, not just about budgeting, but we want them to save money. And it's not just the parents. We also work with the kids as well. Start a savings account, invest in themselves. And we do that. And we also have a program that's called Scope, a healthy food initiative, where we try to educate families on quick and healthy meals, eventually build their own vegetable box where they can grow their foods in their backyard. So we're doing that. And we also have a scholarship program that's called Hearts for Community Service, where we try to help students who are in school. They're impacting their community, but they also need some assistance in school as well. And we just raised that to $5,000 instead of $1,000, $5,000 scholarship. So we're just trying to help, our community. And over the years, these programs have come around. We transition these things because these are things that I've learned from other families, hearing their stories, their issues, and how can I really help support them on their journey of home ownership. And, stable housing solves a lot of problems, society problems, and I'm focused on that. For me, it's important that we give these kids an opportunity to have their parents, until they get a lot older so they can continue to learn. I just don't want kids to go through what I had to go through and burying my mom, not having her around through the important years of not just my life, but my younger 5 brothers and sisters. They needed her during that time. So I want to help preserve that for kids just moving forward. And, this program is near and dear, and we're trying to grow and expand this program. We're in 15 states, 25 markets. We're growing, we're expanding, and trying to get into every NFL city. That's going to be the goal in 2022. It's like, how can we actually go and impact every NFL city, because most of the guys who play on these teams grew up in a single parent house. Someone in their family can relate to it. So we want to be able to take this program and expand and partner with the teams moving forward. And now I'm into building housing as well. I got WD Communities where we build housing for families. We don't just work with single parent families, but 2-parent households. We try to just help individuals who are on that journey. But the difference with this program is that once you purchase a home, we try to make sure we support the families for at least 5 years through their journey of home ownership. And that means taking courses, financial literacy courses, consistently holding them accountable. I call it health and wellness, where we try to incentivize them to go to counseling, work out, train, just all the things we do in our health and wellness piece. We want to be able to incentivize them for long periods of time. And we try to help families who may need to get a certificate to upgrade their status on their job, or if they want to be entrepreneurs, workforce development. So we try to help support the families for at least 5 years. Mm-hmm. And we use government subsidies to help with that as well. Like I said, I got a lot of jobs. I can go on and on and on. We can be on here for a while, but like I work with the Legends program as well, trying to help.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So trying to help retired players really understand what they have, at their fingertips, right? Creating this access for them to be able to understand their benefits, all the perks that they have, the opportunities to take courses, to learn different things. We just want to be a resource to them and make sure that they understand that they played this game for a long time. When you leave the game, you don't have that locker room feel when you're at home. So we can create that virtual locker room in a sense where, from time to time we get together, you can, communicate and catch up with the guys that you played against, reliving those moments. You have those moments where you can do that with the Legends program. But most importantly, we support them, right? Scholarship opportunities. If anything happens in the family, we can support them, by any assistance. Anything. We can probably help with anything to really assist them through their journey. And it's not just the individual, but they have all these benefits. Let's put it to use. Let's help support yourself and your family. So, it's been a great program. I've been there since the inception. So it's just grown, and we're just trying to continue to expand. And now we got the app. Guys can download the app, really take advantage of the opportunities and the things that I think the Legends program and the league is trying to do for them.
Mm-hmm. Now, with all that being said, and you mentioning the education and finances and scholarships and all those different things that you wear a hat for, what's your take on branding as it applies to these things? Because for me, it's like the brands that exist for some of these legends and what opportunities could be there if they understood what branding truly meant and how to leverage it. I think is something that is needed, that education of what that looks like. I feel like you've done an amazing job, and you could tell me whether you were aware of it or just kind of it happened, but Warrick Dunn is a brand, and that's your charity. It's named after you. That's a legacy. What goes into Warrick Dunn's idea of branding?
Well, I can tell you when I first started, I had no idea. I wasn't doing anything to work on a brand, whatever, right? I think over the years, once you build equity, and when I say equity, when you build some clout, some consistency, and people know that this is what this person is truly about, then you start to really work on what your brand looks like. Some guys just think, well, if I can go on the field, I score a couple of touchdowns, I have this brand that is X, Y, and Z. Well, what is your goal long term? And I tried to think about what are the things I want to accomplish as an individual, what position do I want to put myself in, my family in, and also how do I want to see and help families, down the road? So, that really goes in developing a plan of how we want to, assist, attack, but at the same time, make people aware of the things that I stand for. And now I try to associate myself with corporations and brands that are passionate about people, right? I think if you think about my brand, it's more about, people, right? How can I help someone? I'm passionate about that. It's not something that I don't feel like it's a job. I just get up and go every day. And if it's something that you're just passionate about, it, you don't think it's a job. It's just something that you love to do. And for me, my brand, I think, is really that. It's more people. I'm people driven, because when you're building your brand and you're building relationships, that takes time, but it's a people's business. And I'm sure you've learned over the years that football, sports, when you're dealing with these organizations, it is a people's business. And if you focus on building relationships, being strategic on how you build those relationships, but everything can't just be, well, I got to get something out of this, in the beginning. Sometimes you got to build up your equity over time, right? Can't expect to be, take 10 steps on day one. Just take one step, do something, build up the equity, build up the trust from other individuals, that knowing that this person is consistent, they're reliable, and they're trustworthy. Once you build that, I think over the course of time, that equity comes to part of your brand. It is what you make it, right? I mean, I'm not a perfect person. I make mistakes. I'm human, just like everyone else. But the way that I try to live my life is that I just want to be able to help individuals be better, help my community be better across this country. So, the branding, that's a complicated, thing in a sense, but you have to take those small incremental steps and think about the big picture at the end. Then you develop that plan to get there, and it has to be consistency as well.
Do you feel like that applies? The whole NIL, naming, image, likeness, deal passing, and now being a part of college sports. Do you feel as though the the educational components, the insight that you just provided, is something that needs to now happen at an earlier age?
Yeah, I no doubt. If we had what these kids have now when we were in college, I mean, they can make money, they can do appearances. Mentally, I think financially, you're not in a position mentally to really manage and handle the financial responsibilities. So I think that's also provide an opportunity, a platform where they have strategic people in their lives that can help guide them and give them the right direction, because they can't just live for today. I mean, for me, it's important. We want to live a good life today, but think about the 20, 30, 40 years from now, right? What type of life you want to live, and not just for yourself, I mean, for your kids, right? Your family. We have to learn to pass stuff down to the next generation, generational wealth. How do we do that? Well, we have to plan for the future, but take advantage of the opportunities you have today, but don't spend it as if this is it, right? I mean, it is more about, okay, what do I need to live a good life? Okay, but now I have what I need. How can I now start planning and saving for the future so that I'm able to put, my kids, help, family members, whatever it is, down the road, live a better life, because we all have to come together on this journey. I mean, that's just the reality of it. And I just think these kids today, they didn't grow up with the same values that we grew up, because we struggled a lot harder. Now you're getting the instant contracts, or you're getting the marketing deals, or those things. Put in a savings account, save it, plan, don't use it. Still live on that, $2 budget that we were all lived on in college, right? Try to manage. And people was like, well, I've done pretty good with managing dollars. Well, I grew up, my mom passed on a need basis, not the things that I want. And we not saying that you can't get the things that you want, but it's a plan that you have to have, right? And you do it on a need basis. And if the college kids can take advantage of the opportunities, take advantage of it. But now start saving for the future, because you never know. Not every college kid who gets a marketing deal is going to play in the pros. That's just not going to, that's the reality. So can you help? This money can provide, an opportunity for you to start, charting your path in the things that you want to do and accomplish in life. So I would advise them to have the right, guidance, or get the right people in their lives who are not just going to be yes people, but people who are going to be honest and have your best interests at heart.
All right. So with all that being said, that led to you being able to, and this is a humble brag on my bro, you're a minority owner of the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Did that frame of mind position you? You talked about the branding and being able to build strategic relationships and lasting relationships, building towards the future, having your brand represent something that connects to the people. Do you feel like all of those things, along with what you just talked about in terms of being able to make your money and save your money and think long term, how much did that play a part into you leading up to being a minority owner for the Atlanta Falcons?
One, I would tell you the most important thing is I built a relationship with Mr. Blank, right? I mean, when I first came to Atlanta, I met him and we didn't talk football. We talked about life, right? We talked about the impact that I wanted to make in the city of Atlanta and what he wanted to make because he was just becoming an owner. I would say this, the second thing is you gotta think, I wasn't the highest paid player at my position. I mean, if you look back, I mean, if I played in today's era, it could be a lot different. But when I was playing, I was, having to prove to everybody in the league that I'm only 5'8", 180 pounds, that I can play every down. I can play with the big boys and, trying to make sure that I can stay healthy. I had a lot to prove. But my strategy has always been, I need to make sure I put myself and my family stuff in a position, to have a good future and utilize the platforms to do that. And that's what I did. I mean, believe it or not, I was able to manage money early on. I was able to put money to becoming a partner because it's not a verbal agreement. I have to show it by giving money, pretty much. He paid me to play with the Falcons, and I had to give a lot of that money back to him to become a minority owner. But when you think about it, I just managed.
It's brilliant.
I managed my money, but he asked me a key question, towards the end of my career. It's like, what are you going to do after football? He said, hey, do you want to go coach? You want to go, do this or that? I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I mean, so what you want to do? I said, I'd rather be up there with you in the box, right? And he was just like, really? Oh, okay. I said, yeah. I mean, my goal isn't, I had big expectations for myself or lofty goals, right? Yes. But if you don't speak it or say it,
then it can't happen.
It'll never happen. Right. I mean, the reality is it may happen, it may not happen, but you have to have that positive attitude and that outlook on life that this is possible. I built a relationship with him, and I was always very transparent with Mr. Blank about the good, the bad, the ugly. I mean, he would tell you, I would call him about whatever. And I was able to call the owner of the team and not go through the GM, not this or that. I built a relationship with him, and I was never in for myself. He can see that I cared about my teammates, the organization. I just want to see us be better. And after I got released from the Falcons, he said, one day I would love to call you a partner. I had no idea what that meant. At that time, I was still trying to play football. I played Tampa one more year. And then, believe it or not, he had 3 or 4 meetings about becoming a partner. And believe it or not, he cooked me dinner, had me over to his house, cooked me dinner, work. This is something that you need to do. And I was still on the fence with it, but I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to work it out. And I just talked to my financial advisor, says, okay, how much you think I can do? This or that.
It was if it's accurate, it was like north of 40 up front.
Well, I can't tell you the number.
All right. but you're sitting pretty right now.
Well, it's a good investment. It's a great investment. That's what you think about. The return is going to come. I mean, but let me just tell you, a lot of times people feel like they need to give $100 billion or 10 million or whatever it is in investment. Sometimes, and we've heard this from a lot of billionaires. If you put $1 million into $1 billion business, I mean, that's a
You're
I
not
mean,
doing
come on.
bad. Yeah, you're not doing
Right. I
bad.
mean,
Right.
it's, you know, so I just thought strategically, it's like, okay, I don't have anything to prove to anybody else. This is an
Right.
opportunity, right? I want to make sure that I still can live a comfortable life, still do the
Yeah.
things I would like to do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I know that when I give this money, it's gone.
Right.
I have to pretend it's gone. And
Right.
it's a really great investment. So I can't complain. I mean, when I get the return, you know, it'll be good for the kids, not
Yeah.
necessarily for me, right? The
Yeah.
family.
Uh-huh.
That's what it, but in reality,
So
for me,
Walt
that's what
Disney
it's about.
thinking. It's some Disney World thinking.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like eventually down the road, you know, it's just like they will reap the benefits of it. I'm just setting the foundation
Generational
up.
wealth.
Yeah, and that's
Generational
what it's
wealth.
really about for me.
All right, that's dope. That's super dope. All right, let me wrap you. Well, there's two more questions I'm gonna ask you. One, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you what is your favorite moment in memory with Coach Bowden. I mean, I gotta capture that, and that's got to be something that is a part of the historical value of one of the greatest men that I've ever known of, um, and well, two of the greatest dudes that and men that I've known of. So, what what is one of the most memorable moments that you've ever had with him? And it could be the first time you met him when you were younger. It could be as a man. It could just give me one. Give me one where it's like this one really, really maybe defines something for you.
Well, I can tell you this my freshman year, we playing South Bend, playing Notre Dame, and told people, you know, this before, is that I'm out. You know, everybody was slipping on the field in the first half. You know, they grew the grass, you know, this or that. And we're
I
not used to
remember
playing in
that.
high grass.
Yeah.
And I was slipping, Brooks slipped, Charlie Ward was slipping out there, and he called me out at halftime in front of the whole team and said, Warrick, you're not in high school anymore. You can't be out there slipping this or that. I'm just like, I mean, and, you know, I could easily
Like
like,
figure it out. But Brooksy is slipping.
yeah,
We all
but
slipping.
yeah, we all did. But I I just said, okay. I went out in the second half. I did not slip. I scored, I think I remember I scored a touchdown. I had a really good second half, and I took that challenge, right? That I need to rise above, and you can use me as an example all you want, but I'm gonna prove to you that because you called me out, that I'm gonna go out there and make it happen. And I did in the second half. And that has stuck with me all these years, right? I mean, he was another example. My mom challenged me when I was a freshman in high school. Yeah, I can take you out of this school because I was about to flunk out, or you can stay and prove to them that you can make it. And I decided myself that I'm gonna stay here and I'm gonna prove to them that I can make it this school. Because I went to all boys, predominantly white Catholic private school. Honestly, I was bringing home any books. I was enjoying lunch and PE. I had to go ahead and decide to buckle down. I took the same mentality from that challenge with my mom to Coach Bowden. And anytime anybody called me out, I didn't take it as a negative. They're calling me out in front of everybody. I took that as, you know what? They're not going to do it again.
Yeah, you the one
I'm
to
gonna
do
prove
it
to them.
though. I mean, that's
Yeah,
how I would look at it. If
yeah.
Coach Bowden called me out, singled me out, you the one to do it. I'm the one to do it. That's why I had to call. That's why you had to call me out. I'm the man. I don't care how high the grass is. I don't care how wet the grass is. Don't slip.
No, I wasn't going to let that happen. And, we almost came back and won that game in the second half, but I did go out and I didn't slip anymore. That wasn't going to be my excuse.
Wow. All right. Last one I'm gonna leave you with. What does Warrick Dunn want his legacy to be? If you left here today, when they give your eulogy, what would you want them to say about you?
Man, that's tough. That I was a family man. I care about my family. That's first and foremost to me. Most important part of my life is my family, and I cared about people. Right. I've been across this country, this world, and I talked to people. I was in a community where they wrapped their arms around my family when I lost my mom, and they taught me what it means to care about your neighbor and to give back. And for me, I just want to continue to spread my wings and be thankful that I had the opportunity, but I just care about seeing people live a better life. But the most important thing is they have to do their part, right? Nothing is free. You can't just hand things out and expect anyone to value it. You do your part and I will help, right? And that's really what I'm about. I've had to do my part. You have to do your part, because we all have to train, we have to work hard, we have to be committed to something, and we all need assistance to move forward in life. That's pretty much the thing that I would like people, one, to know about me, right? That, I played football, pro football. I never thought I'd play professional football and get drafted. Playing at 185 pounds at the most, I got drafted, I was 170. Think about what I had to prove just to play down in and down out. And now I'm 37 yards shy of 11,000. I'm one of 6 guys in the National Football League with 500 receptions, over 15,000 yards of total offense, when it comes to that, running backs. I mean, it says a lot, but people don't think about the football thing. They just think about, this is the guy who helps people. This is the guy who gives away with the homes, right? And that's what I'm known for. Not, what I did on the field. And I would like to be known as someone who played the game at the highest level and against the best. When I blocked Reggie White, Kevin Green, blocking you and all those, I mean, it wasn't like I was out there just chilling. I was out there playing, and I ran for my life. And, I want to be an elite athlete, football player, because I'm very competitive, but also want to be the best human that I can be. And I wish people would take that, I was just as good as a football player, as a human being, vice versa. It's all about that.
Just super quick, because you mentioned your mom the entire interview, and to know, and I know you mentioned her passing, but to know how that impacted you in terms of what what your responsibilities had to be based off of what happened, just so people are clear when they hear this, that if you're comfortable with it, I mean, it's well documented, but just give just before we go, just the idea of, and that was like right before your 18th birthday, right? If I recall correctly.
Well, it was 2 days after my 18th birthday.
Okay.
I just turned 18, and 2 days later, my mom, who's a Baton Rouge City police officer, was shot and killed in line of duty. She was making a routine night deposit at a bank with the grocery store manager, and 2 guys opened fire on a police car. She's in a police uniform or in a car, and she lost her life. From that, I just became the guardian of my brothers and sisters. Being 18 years old, just turning 18, I was responsible for them. So, I had to grow up really fast, didn't have the best college life because I was more focused. And a lot of my meetings with Coach Bowden were about family. I would go to his office and sit down with him and talk about, okay, what I do in this situation with my brothers and sisters back home. I'm trying to raise kids, from Tallahassee over the phone, right, and, go back and forth. So I had the ability to go home every break, every weekend that I had off, every summer I went home. I did it all. But I think the most important thing that I did is that when I was my second year in Tampa, the youngest 3 came to live with me. So being a professional football player, I just rookie of the year. Now I'm going to PTA meetings, making sure they, I had to cook them meals every day. So I wasn't able to hang out with my teammates, right? I was parenting. I was going to football games on Friday nights, not hanging out with my teammates on Friday nights. I was doing everything a parent would do. And, for me, that was my life. But because, I was the oldest of 6, being responsible for my brothers and sisters, I felt it was important that I do that. And my mom, she left me that responsibility. So that's what I had to do. And I'm just thankful that I was, put in a situation that I was mentally strong and able to provide for them.
You're one of the most extraordinary dudes I've ever known, bro.
Oh
Real
no, I
talk.
appreciate it.
Like
I
real
appreciate it,
talk,
bro.
bro. Um, Jeez. So I'm
Oh, the
rapping.
glare, the glare coming in. The
Yeah,
glare
yeah.
coming in.
That's mama coming in. Mama giving you confirmation. Um,
Yeah.
as I let you go, like I just like I said, I just want to let you know I do this. I'm doing this series so that I can tell stories and unveil stories of extraordinary guys that I asked my son today, you know who Warrick Dunn is? He was like, yeah, the back from Florida State. I was like, okay. So these young boys these days are losing track of what it means to be a fan of the game, to truly have followed the game and have reverence for the people who have made this what it is, and it's been passed on. And I want to start trying to bridge the gap between new school and old school. I want to also create an opportunity where telling our stories, like your story should be a documentary. And I don't know if it's ever happened or if it's something, I see all of these, everybody loves All American and all that stuff. Well, we really were All Americans. We really do have extraordinary stories. And it's like if the tree falls in the woods and nobody's there to hear it fall or see it fall, doesn't make a noise. And I almost feel like that's what's happening with our legends in our community, is that our voices aren't as strong as they once were, but yet they should be more prominent now than what they ever have. So I'm trying to collect all y'all stories and package it up so that we can create this dialogue. And I sure do appreciate you giving me the time, bro.
No, man, I appreciate you having me on, man. I hope I know you're gonna do a great job, telling those stories. So,
Yeah.
tell your son. I tell the young kids today, Google. If you don't know, Google is the best thing you can do, is to
Yeah.
to really see how guys played. I mean, I don't think they're as interested in the game as we were coming up when we followed people and watched their every move. It's just different today. So
Yeah.
we got to make sure that they grow up with the same values in the sense that we had,
Correct.
because and they're not going to do that, but you got to try to steer them as much as you can so they understand that everyone who played, I played against and with, we had to practice. We
Yeah.
worked hard
Yeah.
to get there. This is not an easy thing.
That's right.
To be great, it takes a lot of sacrifice, commitment, work ethic. I did it all. I mean, I worked out 3 times a day just to play at the next level. So it takes a lot to get to that level and to maintain it.
We got to bridge that gap.
All
Because
day.
these cats think
All day.
that they think that is leading to them making it to the league.
Nope.
I'm that
Then.
good, and then I get out there and I do what I do.
Yeah. Well, just imagine if they put that much time in practicing that they put on the video games, how much better athlete they would be.
That's right.
Yeah. So I'm already there.
Yeah.
When I watched the game today, I'm like, oh my God, he didn't take the right step. Oh, he could have did this. He could have did.
Right.
I'm more critical than
Yes.
I'm. It's like, wow, that was.
It's
that
hard
was
to
great.
be a civilian. I said we civilians now, and it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to sit and watch a game. A lot of times, I turn the volume off because I don't want to listen to what they're saying. I want to be in the game.
I got you.
I don't even want to be entertained by what they're saying. Sometimes I just want to be in the game. Like, wow, look at how he's reading it, or he's pressing the line. Like, is he going to hit the cutback lane, or is he going to try to get outside? Or he missed it, like you said. It's just, anyway, I will be in contact, because when all of this comes together, we're going to go from school to school. We're going to go to Florida State. We're going to go to a school in Atlanta. And we need to bridge this gap. They need to hear these stories. They need to hear this dialogue in person. And that's the whole idea of it. Our legends need to be out there, and our voices need to be heard, and they need to be monetized as well, because we're not just here just to be here. The game is, it's not to be told, it's to be sold. You know what I mean? And so to me, we need to have this dialogue. We need to create a platform where our legends can have their voices be heard in a powerful, impactful way. So that's what this is all about, bro.
Yes, sir. No, I appreciate it. I know you do a great job. I know, hey, I know you will. I just know I've learned a lot about you over the years and just, playing against you. So I know how passionate you are about it. Yeah. I know it's going to happen. So
we're going to work on it.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you. To everybody out there, I hope y'all enjoyed this great episode. Up on Game presents Conversations with a Legend, the legendary Warrick Dunn. Really appreciate you, man. We'll talk soon.
I appreciate you, brother. Yes, sir. Yes,
all
sir.
right.
I'm happy, I'm happy you missed me.
Yeah, right? I ain't missed you.
He didn't tackle me.
We're going to do round 2 on that one. We're going to find the hidden footage on that one. But until next time, appreciate you, man. We'll talk soon.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
Okay, all right. To all you guys, make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Go to YouTube. Check it out. Make sure you check it out on Up On Game Presents. You can get that wherever it is that you download your podcast, all right? Y'all take care. Be blessed. I'm going to talk to y'all next week. We'll have another legend on deck.